Metal Monthly, new metal show, not that kind of new metal. Hey, Blaine Smith welcoming you to the second edition of Metal Monthly. Bangers look at the releases coming up in that month so you can get in on those pre-orders, get those die-hard editions or whatever you want, and not miss out. If you're new to the channel, we'll help you get subscribed because we're getting so close to 200,000 and that's, a nice big milestone. And on a personal note, you can get subscribed to me personally at twitch.tv/metalcomedy, where I play video games and listen to metal, and we talk about metal. It's a lot of fun, so hey, follow us both. So starting things off, I'm just gonna give you a rapid fire list of some of the big stuff that's coming out this month, so you can keep an eye out for it. If you caught the last month, you might recognize my shirt. It's the album cover to that sweet Convictors record. If you hadn't heard it yet, it's out now, so you can listen to it, and then after you listen to it, buy it, because it's great. So first up, number one in our Patreon poll. Over on our Patreon account, we do a poll every month where you vote on the number one album that you want to see reviewed the most. So we will absolutely be reviewing Rotting Christ Heretics, coming out on Season of Mist, February 15th. So keep an eye out for that. Out today, Downfall of Gaia is releasing The Ethics of Radical Finitude on Metal Blade Records. Crystal Lake, a Japanese metalcore band, is releasing Helix on Sharptone Records February 15th. But the big stuff really comes out February 22nd. We have a lot of records coming out that week that are, noteworthy. Candlemass is releasing The Door to Doom on Napalm. Last in Line is releasing 2 on Frontiers. Dream Theater is releasing Distance Over Time on Inside Out Music. And finally, hey, the namesake for a lot of our stuff, Overkill, is releasing The Wings of War on Nuclear Blast. So hey, check those out, but now I'm going to tell you about the 5 things this month that I've been listening to the most. The first record is a bit of a cheat. Technically it didn't come out in February, but I couldn't include it in last month's because this son of a bitch. Panopticon released a surprise EP on us January 26th. No warning, no heads up, just boom, it's on Bandcamp, and also soon pre-orders will be available for it on vinyl on Bind Rune Recordings. So after releasing a massive 2 giant record last year, we're getting another one. If you're not in the know, this is black metal mixed with American folk, which is pretty rare. We get a lot of the European folk. This is straight up American folk music, creates something really unique, really awesome. And hey, if you don't know about it, what a perfect little EP to get you involved in it. It's got 2 tracks, it still totals 20 minutes though. The first one being some great atmospheric black metal, and the second one being some cool folk stuff. Really gives you a little bit of a sampler plate of what this guy's been doing this whole time. Awesome as always, and hey, if you're already on the team, more Panopticon, yay! Shifting directions entirely, we have Chainbreaker. They're releasing Lethal Desire on Hell's Headbanger Records, February 15th. So hey, exciting hometown boys. Toronto, Canada's own, thrashy, speedy, heavy. See that? That's what it sounds like. It's a bit of a super group. We've got, guys from Toxic Holocaust, Cauldron, and one of Toronto's best kept secrets, Rammer. Super old school feel to it. If you're a fan of Midnight, right at home here. It's just songs about, oh man, it's beer drinking music. Crack some beers. Probably about that many beers. Drink them all, put this record on, have yourself a gosh darn party. Chainbreaker, all go, no slow. So let's dial down the speed a bit, but not the intensity. Up next, Abyssic has High the Memory coming out February 22nd on Osmos Productions. So, what we've got here is some Norwegian death doom, but it's not your standard death doom, it's orchestral symphonic death doom, which I barely knew was a thing. The record cover, A, I love when stuff's painted, but B, skull piles. Skull piles, I'm sold, and luckily, everything inside delivers. It's a bit of a weird one. They use Mellotron, Mini Moog, and an upright bass to create the orchestral symphonic sound, but unlike a lot of these bands, they use it sparingly, and because they have these weird ones, they don't necessarily try and exclusively reproduce the sounds of other instruments. They kind of lean into the weird. And it's buried low enough in the mix, so it never overrides it. And what does it not override? Awesome death doom. So I'm on board. Hope you guys are too. Check it out. Our next record, you can actually check out right now. Deserted Fear put out Drowned by Humanity on Century Media Records on February 2nd. So what we've got here is some great German death. The cover, instantly I was drawn in. The great vignetting around that cool skull really pulls your eye to the middle. And like I said, you know, skulls, it's gonna do it. The cool thing about this record for me is that I don't really like melodic death metal, and it's not melodic death metal, but they use just enough mellow death elements to kind of make this a really fun death metal record. If you were a fan of early At the Gates, but maybe think the later stuff was a little too melodic, or if you're a mellow death fan, or if you're a death fan, I think this is a good compromise, a good bridge gap between the two. I know it's weird to have a gap bridge between a subgenre of a genre, but that's what I think they did here. It's super awesome. I really like it. The vocals are a little different than a lot of death metal vocals, so, you know, hey, spice up your palate a little bit. Expand your horizons. Check it out. The last record I'm going to present to you in this is always going to be, like I said, a piece of gari to cleanse the palate. Sometimes we focus a little too much on the heavy stuff, and, you know, there's a lot of fun metal out there that doesn't have to be punching you in the skull all the time. So, on that note, up next we've got Traveler, releasing Traveler, which was a real pain to Google, I'll tell you that, on Gates of Hell Records, February 22nd. So with this, we've got some straight heavy metal, again, focusing a little bit on Canada, out of Calgary. Now, this album cover looks like something I would have drawn in high school in a notebook, and it really kind of gives you that nostalgic feeling, which goes perfectly with the music, because this music sounds pretty Judas Priesty, which was a band that, you know, got a lot of us into our first metal. They do the same kind of thing that Judas Priest does, which I really like, where there's a lot of different themes for each song. Hey, to start off, we get a space theme. Thank you. Love sci-fi. It's better than fantasy. There, I said it. Fight me about it. A lot of heavy metal, it's all swords and orcs, but sometimes we need a spaceship and a laser beam, you know what I mean? Super fun. The thing I would say about this, drive-in music. I can always tell when one of these records is good, because if I'm going to a gig that's 3 hours out of town, and I put a record on, and I'm just blank out for 40 minutes just enjoying a drive, that's some good heavy metal, and that's what happened here. So, I hope you guys... Probably you can just cut it. And that's what happened here. Cut. Done. Cool. Sweet. So hey, I'm Blaine Smith. Thanks for tuning in again. It's a new show. We're working on it. Suggestions are always welcome. It looks a little different because we're configuring something in the studio, and it'll probably look a little different next month. We'll figure it out, and hopefully you'll help us figure it out too. And like I said, if you're new, get subscribed, because all we want to do is put out stuff like this so that we can all enjoy metal together. I'm Blaine Smith, signing off. Never know.